Hi guys, this is Mike Edwards again, talking about driving while impaired. Pretty big subject because we see so many people get charged with that, and it can have some devastating consequences for your life, your insurance cost, and all that stuff. We'll talk more about the punishment side of it in my next segment. But let me talk now about how you can get charged with DWI without drinking one drop of alcohol. And the reason I want to talk about this is I hope you will spread the word, because a lot of people don't know this law and how it's developed over the last 10, 15 years especially, and it's really scary because it nabs a lot of people that otherwise are totally law-abiding folks trying to do what's right, not out drinking in bars and getting in cars. But it really, I've seen a lot of people just really have their lives devastated by this, and I'm shouting from the mountaintops of this sofa here to try to get the word out. So help me out, because voice doesn't travel that far from this place. But maybe it will from this video if you'll tell people about it. I'm talking about prescription drug medication. Good grief. How many people take prescription drugs every year, every day? And they're prescribed. Now, DWI based on voluntarily taking illegal drugs, that's a whole different deal. I mean, that's akin to drinking too much alcohol, although I have found that it's very rare that I've had someone, charged or convicted of driving while impaired by marijuana. The marijuana folks don't seem to drive, they don't seem to drive very much after using marijuana, that is. But I'm talking about prescription drug situation where your doctor, you may have back trouble, you may have a chronic condition, you may be taking it for cancer recovery, you may have cold, flu, whatever, and you're having to take some pills, and you're taking it just as the doctor says. Have you ever noticed on your prescription drug bottle, just about all of them, it says, do not operate machinery. Well, a car is a machine. I want to say it again. A car is a machine. When I first saw that, when they started slapping those labels on there a few years ago, I'm thinking, well, heck, that's for farmers. I'm not going to be doing any plowing, so I'm not worried about that. As a matter of fact, I think it had a picture maybe of a tractor or something on there back in the old days, not that long ago. So I'm thinking, well, I'm good. I didn't even think about it. I take my medication and jump in the car and go. And everybody did. And then all of a sudden, we had a lot of things happen. Awareness, number one. We had more and more people prescribe more and more type of prescription drugs. You ever watch television and count how many drug ads from Big Pharma are on there trying to get you to go to your doctor, and if you're your fingernail hurts, you can go get a pill for that. So when all that started happening in the 90s, people started getting a lot of drugs for a lot of stuff. And even though they were taking it as prescribed, then you start driving funny or having wrecks or weaving in the road or things of that nature. And it became such an ongoing issue with so many people that they finally made the law clear that even if you're taking medication as prescribed, if that impairs your ability to drive, then you can be charged with appreciable impairment. And let me tell you what, the state also went so far as to get a drug expert certified through state highway patrol. One's in each district, one or more. They have various tests that they give you. Eye test with a pen. They look at how your eyes move in response to stimuli, and then they come up with an opinion as to whether or not you show signs or clues of impairment, and that forms their opinion that you are appreciably impaired. And then the judge is going to accept that opinion just about every time. If that officer says this person shouldn't be driving, they've been, not only are they officers, trained officers, they're trained in recognition of impairment. Now, and then you come to me and say, hey, can we beat this? I'm saying, I'll be happy to try, but it's a tough situation. I have gotten people not guilty in that situation, but it's like pulling eye teeth blindfolded backwards. And circumstances have to be just perfectly right. So keep that in mind. And most people's faces, when I tell them this law and what can happen, they say, but I took it as the doctor prescribed. Well, the doctor is not telling you to go out and drive your car necessarily. In fact, I don't even think doctors sit down and talk to anybody about that. I never had a doctor. I've had great doctors my whole life. Never had one sit down and give me the medicine and say, now listen, Mike, you probably know this as an attorney, but make sure you let the medication wear off the half-life or something before you drive a car, because you could be charged DWI. Doctors don't tell you that. They're talking about your health. They expect you to know the law stuff, I guess. So they don't have time to do that. And it is kind of common sense, but it's caught the public by surprise because we've been so conditioned over the years. Doctor gives us medication, tells us to take it, we take it as prescribed, we're good. But that doesn't necessarily apply when you're behind the wheel of a car. And what I'm trying to scream to you from the couch here is that the word has not gotten out that you're going to get charged for that. I had an unfortunate lady a few years ago, and she got, never been on drugs or nothing, no crime, sweetest lady ever, but she got hooked on painkillers after she had an accident. And bless her heart, she ended up, and the officers knew that she was taking them and driving, and she'd get in a car, and I think she got caught twice in one day. There's 4 or 5 charges at once. It was just terrible. It was all over the news. And that's an outlier case. I'm just talking about you can just take your regular meds, and if you weave a little bit, they're going to pull you over. Now, if a cop pulls you over, and I'm going to take back cop. I don't like people calling police officers cops. I have respect for them more than that. And I know they don't take offense at cops, but I'm sorry I said that. So let me go back. I don't want to redo this tape. Apologize for that. A police officer pulls you over, and you are weaving, and you've had some medication. Now the officer's going to say, have you been drinking? No. Okay. He doesn't smell alcohol, so that sounds like you telling the truth there. You taking any medication? Now, the truth is you're taking medication. Now, how should you answer that question? Well, you can't lie to the officer. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't do that. You don't have to answer that question. He's trying to find out if you've had something. Now, if you don't answer that question, then if he feels like he's got grounds for it, he can still, order a blood test. In a close call where you are weaving, if you are asked about taking meds, and if you don't answer the question, is the officer going to go ahead and try to detain you and try to get a search warrant or probable cause for search warrant to do it? It's a case-by-case basis. But I can promise you this, that if you say, yes, I'm taking prescription medication, and I just took some a while ago, but I took it as prescribed, you're going to get charged with DWI. I'll leave it at that. You're going to get charged with DWI. And you admitted you're taking prescription drugs. He'll probably ask you what you've been taking, and it's obviously a drug that can impair your ability to drive. He's now got an opinion based upon the weaving, knowing that you have admitted to taking prescription drugs. He's got enough to charge you with DWI without even doing a blood test. Just think about those things I just told you. Don't lie to the officer. You don't have to answer the question of the officer. But if you do and you tell him the truth. See, they always taught me in kindergarten that if you're honest and if you tell the truth, especially to the authorities, if you're truthful and honest and upfront about it, transparent, honesty is the best policy. Well, I agree with that. Sometimes honesty might not be your best policy. And I'm not saying be dishonest. I'm saying sometimes if you talk too much to the officer, you can talk yourself right into a charge and conviction in court. Instead of talking to the officer so much, why don't you call me and let's talk to your lawyer. Talk to me, A. Michael Edwards. Because what you say to me is confidential, and I'm not going to charge you with anything. I'm going to try to help you if you are charged, as opposed to charging you. So instead of volunteering a lot of information, and that goes true in my opinion. I'm going to do a segment later in this channel about do you talk to an officer. Do you answer officers' questions when they're investigating, but you haven't been charged? So you might want to look at that video later in this channel on criminal law, and I'll give you my ideas on that. But as far as talking, I am happy to talk to you. If you call me at 828-652-8011 about your case, your DWI charge, or anything else that you may have in criminal law or divorce family law, we will call you back. We'll talk to you about it. We don't charge anything to consult, free consultation. If we can help you, we will. If we can't, we'll let you know that too. If you want to hire us, that's fine. If not, that's okay too. I am Mike Edwards, practice law in Marion, North Carolina. I'm a solo practitioner. Have a website, attorneyedwards.com. That's where you can get some information about me, also on this channel. Thank you for listening. Be sure to take great care when you take medicine and then drive a car, because you'll be treated just like a drunk driver. So remember that, and please spread the word. Thank you so much for listening.